Hey everyone, and welcome on in to the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. My name is Sam, and in this episode, I was particularly excited to chat with Kristine Drummond. She is an amazing Juice Plus franchise partner who I've had the pleasure of knowing and working with for the last few years. I actually met Kristine through some personal connections, and I've got to watch her over the last few years grow and develop in her business. She's done some amazing stuff, but the thing that I love about Kristine is the fact that she's grown her business by primarily providing value and just simply loving people. I was blown away when we got chatting in this podcast episode where the doors opened and we started to really get to know each other a little bit better, and I got to really see what her purpose was behind her business. I know you're going to absolutely love this episode. I wish we could have spoken for longer. And interestingly, the chat that we had after the podcast was all done was probably just as powerful as that we had during. But one of the things that she really explained to me afterwards was the process that she uses in order to grow her business and the structure she uses to reach out and make sure that she connects with everybody on her contact list. The thing that she does that is so special is that she makes it purely about them. She's got no hidden agenda, and I think you're going to really find some value in this episode. So I'm not going to harp on too much longer. I'm going to let you guys listen in. It was a really great, raw, down-to-earth and fun episode, and she also tells us about one of her extraordinarily unique hobbies that I think will have you all having a bit of a giggle and enjoying the chat along with us. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and we will see you on the inside. Catch up with you there. Well, hey, Kristine, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. I'm really excited about this interview because we've known each other for a while, both in business, but also we've run into each other on our little personal growth journey as well, which has been a lot of fun. So we've had a chance to get to know each other a bit in business and outside of that. But the thing that I'm really, really excited to talk to you about today is about that growth journey that you've been on and how that's helped you with your business growth, but in particular with your social media journey with your business, because I have seen a massive, massive change in you, but I've also seen some amazing stuff come from the work that you've done. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity today to introduce you to everybody. For those that don't know you, I'm sure many do, but also just give you a chance to sort of tell us a bit about, what that journey's been like for you and where you're at the moment.
Oh, thanks so much for having me on, Sam. And I feel like it's a real honor to be able to share my journey and hopefully inspire other people out there as well. It's not an easy journey, this one. I mean, it can be quite lonely as an entrepreneur. And, as connected we are, as, with social media in the world right now, we are still disconnected as a race, I feel. So for me, yes, my social media has improved and I'm getting better with my posts and stuff, but my real work goes on in the background. I do a lot of personal messaging and calls through my messenger, and that's my main form of communication with people when I'm introducing them to, to the products and services that we provide. So for me, I've been on a massive growth journey. I'd never heard of personal development before I came into this profession. And the first book I ever read that was recommended to me by one of my mentors was The Law of Attraction. And it was just life-changing for me. I never even heard the concept that your thoughts could create your reality, that, you could really change the way that, you manifested things or attracted things into your life simply by changing your thoughts. So it all started, I suppose, back then. And for me, I've done, as you have as well, I've done a lot of internal work. I've done the self-development, and I think that's crucial to anyone's success in this business, because as you grow, your business grows. So I can't remember what the question was, but is that a good start?
We're just starting off with, I guess, getting to know you a little bit better. And, these guys hear me talk a lot about MJB, and we've done a lot of work with them, and you and I ran into each other at one of their conferences. What would it be? A year ago now, maybe?
Yep.
Which was, that in itself was a great big learning curve, and we learned a lot about each other, I feel, in that week. There's not much that we don't know after that week. But the thing, and I completely agree with you. I think it's really awesome to encourage people to invest in themselves. And I love that you've done that. And I think many people feel, hey, I'm not worth it, or it's, personal development can be an expensive exercise as well. It doesn't have to be, but it's great to hear that that's helped you with the growth with your business. How do you feel that doing this PD work has affected your social media? Because I've seen it's affected your social media, but I'm curious to know how you feel it's affected your social media.
Well, I think what happened was I was able to break the shackles from some things that I've been carrying with me for years. Like it's something that I call going from shame to shine. I had, sexual abuse happen to me from a young age, and I carried that with me for so long, the shame, the guilt, the victim mentality. And it was through this personal development work that I was able to really own that and go back to that event and just see it for what it was, and come from a place of love and gratitude and just own it, And once I was able to really go back and stop putting all this negativity, or what I perceived to be a negative experience on it, I was able to go back and put a positive experience on it. So it freed me of so much, Sam. And I feel like there's so many things that happen to people, and it's like a blockage. They want to get ahead, but they can't, because they've got this heavy weight, this shackle that's holding them back to their past. And for me, as soon as I released that, I felt just so free. And it was only sort of about 18 months ago that I started to really share that story and that side of me, because I was carrying so much shame around it. And I wanted to inspire other people to go, you know what, it doesn't matter what's happened in the past. You can come away from that and truly shine and really step into your power. So that was one of the things. And then the other thing was, I've used to beat myself up about, I've treated some people really badly in the past, and I used to beat myself up and tell myself I was a bad person. And that's the label that I gave myself every night. I was a bad person because I'd hurt these people. Yeah. And then it was through Mitch and Mills's work that Mitch he does it in a way that you get to own and love all parts of you, the good, the bad, the messy, the ugly, the chaotic. And he was the catalyst for change for me in going, you know what, we all mess up, and we've all got sides to us that we're not proud of, but everybody has those sides. And it's just a matter of owning them. And when you own them, when you own the psycho mum that you can be, and I can be the most ridiculous psycho mum. Here I am one side with my Fearless Mums Club, where I'm all positive and being positive parenting and conscious parenting. Next minute, I can just be blowing my chops at my kids, but I own that part of me. It's because
I think we're all like that. I've got this thing. I don't believe in the word super mum. It makes me cranky when I hear people use that word. And, it's so easy to look like you've got it all together on the outside, particularly when you're really active in business. And I hate that people feel less than when they compare themselves to other mums out there, because you know what, you're right, we all stuff up, we all yell at our kids, we all walk away and have that mummy guilt for getting cross with them for making me late to get you to school today, and not eating your lunch, or telling me a fib. And you think, when they're adults, I'm going to look back on this and wish I hadn't been so cross. But I think we, it's really important that, and it's one of my missions to really help to empower mums to love themselves through this journey, because being a parent is, it's not easy, but we all, we've all got that journey to go on. And you're right, Mitch and Mills are amazing at doing that, really getting you to recognize and love those things about yourself that you haven't accepted. And, it's certainly
I just wanted to add in there, sorry to cut you off, honey, but, Mitch said to me one day, you don't want to walk into a room and have anything between you and another person. Like if you've wronged somebody, if you're holding guilt for something, you just need to own it and move on. Don't try and hide it. Don't try and avoid it. Like own it, own up to it. Like we see a lot of celebrities stuff up in life and they try and hide it. And the more they try and hide it, the worse it gets. Whereas if they just come out and say, you know what, I screwed up, I'm sorry, and they just own it from that moment, it makes the situation so much better. So like think about that in your life. You know, like I was condemning people, I was judging people for qualities and traits that I wasn't owning in myself, and I kept thinking, I'm not like that person, I don't do that, or I'm not like that. But until you do the internal work, you go, shivers, I do have those qualities, I do have those traits. When you start owning them, it doesn't matter what anyone says anymore, because now you're a whole person. You're not just owning half of yourself, all the good bits that you love. Now you're owning all of yourself. And that's so freeing, Sam, when people get that realization and go, oh my gosh, that's what it is to be whole, you know? And that's where I think my social media has really come forward now, because I'm not worried about the haters. I'm not worried about upsetting people. I'm not worried about, you know, people going, that's crap, you're wrong. You know, I'm just living my life, and social media is my message to the world. I love to inspire, I love to entertain, and I love to educate. And they're some of my highest priorities, as well as family and health. And so through social media, I get to do it in a way that is in alignment with those values. And I think that's what's missing out there. So often we are playing that comparison game, and we are trying to be like our mentors or like someone else that we saw in another company, or, you know, we're trying to be someone that we're not, which means we're out of alignment, and we're wondering why we're not being successful, because we're trying to be something else or get a message across that isn't our message or meant to be from us. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of internal work, but it's definitely worth doing.
Yeah. So I love that you're saying all of these things right now, because this is going to lead me into what I wanted to talk to you about next. And the thing that comes up a lot in this industry when it comes to talking social media is, how do you talk about your products? How do you talk about the business? How do you talk about the service that you provide? How do we grow our business using social media as the tool? And there's something really interesting about the answer to this that I think you're going to be the perfect person to explain, because there is nowhere mentioned in your personal profile or your business pages anything about the product or the business. Yet you have a very, very successful business with Juice Plus. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Why is it that you don't talk about the business and the product, and how do you use social media to leverage your growth?
Well, it's kind of my theory that people don't want to be sold to, and I think they're over network marketers. It's not that they've got a problem with network marketing. They've just got a problem with network marketers and the way that people do this profession. So for me, I don't want to be one of those naggy, in your face network marketers. I want to really respect people. And when people come into my life, I genuinely want to turn those strangers into friends and friends into family. And I have Facebook strangers that I've met on Facebook that have come and stayed at my house before, and I've never met them in person. You know, that's the kind of relationships that I want to build. So I think people can really feel that. So I do a lot of inspiration, education, and entertainment on my personal profile. The products and the programs will go in my stories every now and then, but it's just a flash for, like, I might do it once a week. And then in the background, it's through Messenger. I am in contact with 100% of my Facebook friends on Messenger. And I don't share the product or the service or the business with all of them. And some people I've mentioned it to, and they're just, you know, a flat out no, but I still continue that relationship. And sometimes it's just checking in to see if people are okay, you know, what's going on for them, what are they excited about. And other times I'll bring it up because I see that they're struggling in life, like whether it's through their health or whether it's through their wealth or whatever. And that's when I'll message them in the background and say, hey, have you ever considered this? Or have you ever thought about this? And that's the way that I will bring it in. But I just think it's like, I don't want to be that salesy person. I want to do business in a heart-centered, soul-centered way. And whether people get on my product or not, I just want them making positive changes. I just want them to be the best version of themselves. I want what's best for them, not what's best for me. And I feel like that's where a lot of network marketers go wrong. They're so focused on the next promotion. They're so focused on the money inside of it. And they're not focused enough on building those enriched relationships. Like, I'm here for the long haul, Sam. I'm looking 20, 30 years down the track. I don't want to burn any bridges. And in 8 years, I've never lost a friend in network marketing. Never. I've had one of my greatest friends. One of my greatest friends rang me once and said, Drummo, what are you doing? Like, you're an idiot. Like, don't get involved with this. Like, it's a scam and blah, blah, blah. And you know what I saw in that moment? And this is a lesson to everyone out there that's had someone do this. I saw so much love in that moment because she was a friend and she was good enough to pick up the phone and have my back and say, I don't want to see you get hurt.
Oh, I
So
love
all I
that.
said
That's
to
awesome.
her was, mate, you haven't seen what I've seen. You haven't seen
Yeah.
what these products do for people. I'm going to do it anyway, but I love and respect you so much more for picking the phone up, chick, and ringing me. And you know what? We still have the best relationship. I just don't share the products or the business with her.
Yeah.
We don't talk about what I do, you know, and we're still the greatest friends. So love on people where they're at and don't make them feel bad if they're not buying or joining your team.
Absolutely.
This is not for everybody. This profession is not for everybody.
So the thing about this industry, I find, is that there is a stereotype, there is a stigma attached, and we can pretend that there isn't, but we know that there is. And that's a good example of how, you know, you've had a friend come to you and say, hey, I don't want you to get tied up in this, and I don't want you to be marred with that same or tarred with that same stigma. But the thing is that what you're doing is you're making it about them, you're not making it about you. And I know for a fact that, you know, what you're saying you do, because you know you can't sell to me. I work with the companies, so I know that you don't have an opportunity with me yet. I know that you send me a personal messenger inbox message every now and again just to check in. And I know that there is nothing attached to that. So I know that you're good with your word on that. And I love it. And the thing that really stands out to me is you don't copy and paste templates. You don't take, you know, the same spiel and send it to everybody and just hope a few will stick. You actually get to know people and you make it about building relationships. And that is so, so powerful. Now, I know I preach this a lot, but you're actually doing it and you're seeing the results from it. And it's great for people to hear this from me, but I want them to hear it from someone who's actually being successful in the industry by doing just that. You are just building relationships and your business is organically growing through that. And it's just amazing to watch. And I just wish everyone could listen and do what you're doing right now.
I think it comes down to no one cares how much you know. They care how much you care. And if I see someone struggling or they've put up a post that they're suffering with depression, I don't just comment on the post. I'll pick the phone up and I'll ring them and I'll just say, hey, is everything going okay? Like, you know, fill me in. Like we were doing a blitz day at one of my team members' houses yesterday, and someone sent her a message after she said, how's everything going? And this person wrote back and said, I wish I was dead. And so we immediately picked up the phone. That's a cry for help for me. And there's no way I could leave that house knowing that we just sent a text message back saying, well, I hope things pick up. No, we tried to pick up the phone and she wrote back and said, look, I don't want to talk at the moment. And that's okay. And we just sent a voice message and said, look, we just want to make sure that you're okay. Like, you know, that's a serious thing to say and we're not taking it lightly. And we just want you to know that we've got your back and we're here if you need us, you know? So I think like we've got to get to know people, you know, we've got to get to know people on a different level, and just liking people's comments or just scrolling through and not commenting. You don't know how much that's going to mean when you love on someone's post or you send them a nice message that isn't just like a thumbs up and then you continue to scroll. Like it means so much to people. And especially in this profession, it's hard sometimes. It's hard when you don't have a solid following, or when you know that your friends and family know that you haven't always been this inspirational person. Now all of a sudden you're in this inspiring community of positive people, and now all of a sudden you've come out the other side all happy and chirpy, and people are like, what's happened to Kristine? Oh my gosh, you know. Like we get that can be isolating. We get that sometimes you're going to outgrow your friends and family, and that's okay as well. But that's the beauty of this profession, is that wherever you look, there's always support. And that's what I love about it. And I've had my own businesses outside of the network marketing, and it's bloody lonely. You're the marketing person, you're the your own cheer squad, you're the accountant, you're the salesperson, you know, and it's, you know, in this profession, you get mentored and training and you get access to world-class leaders all around the world, you know, and I just think that's amazing. And you've just got to put your big girl pants on, big boy pants on, and start taking responsibility instead of playing the blame game for your lack of results. You know, when I came into my business, my upline wasn't anywhere to be seen. She wasn't doing the business. She was still in it, but she was focusing on other things. It was the greatest gift she gave me, because guess what? I had to get resourceful. I had to find things out for myself.
Yeah.
So if you're doing this business and you're not in the same town as your upline, or you're not in the same, they're not doing the business anymore, just put your big girl pants on and go and do it. Go and find things out for yourself. Like, we've got to stop blaming others for our lack of. And I don't think, Sam, everyone can make a full-time income in this profession, but I do agree that everyone can make a part-time income in this profession, and that's life-changing for people. That could be an incredible overseas holiday at the end of the year. It could mean that marriages are saved. It could mean that, kids get more experiences, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm about. I'm about showing people how to create that part-time income so they can have less stress, because let's face it, money troubles is the number one thing that's keeping people up at night. And it's also the number one cause of illness, and why people go to see their GPs is through stress-related illness. So if we can help people reduce that stress, we get to give them a better quality of life, a more positive life, a life of more experiences and adventure. And isn't that what life is about?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And there's something I didn't tell you I was going to ask you about, but I'm going to put you on the spot here. I've been noticing that you have got a new hobby. I want to hear about what
Does it involve wheels?
It does. You bet it does. I want to hear what you're up to, because this blows my mind. So when Kristine shares on social media, it always stands out to me. She just is raw. She shares herself and she's real. She doesn't perfect things. She doesn't even practice them. She just goes for it. And this is what I tell you guys to do all the time. But she's actually doing it, and I love it. And I've been watching you get into a new little hobby. I want to hear about what you're up to.
So there's so many times in this journey I've become so serious and lost the fun, like fun left. So this year I'm like, my word was maniac. And one of my business partners, Joel Lord, we're like, what can we do this year? And he's like, maniac. And I'm like, I love that word. Let's create ways that we can be bigger maniacs in 2020. So something I used to love to do as a kid was rollerblade. I also love to climb trees, so I do that quite often as well. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to rollerblade a marathon in every capital city around Australia for a charity. Sounded good at the time. And then I did my first one in Perth about 2 weeks ago, and it was excruciating and very painful. But that's what we're doing. So we're doing, I'm rollerblading a marathon in every capital city to raise money for our chosen charity. Okay. We've got Melbourne in just under 2 weeks. So I'm just in the process of mapping out the course. And
and you're doing this by yourself?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because in all the capital cities, there's rollerblading groups. So I'm just jumping in all the rollerblading groups saying, guys, I'm looking for a track. And then people are coming along to do the marathon with me. It's been amazing.
That's awesome.
So it's been such a cool way to connect with a different group of people as well, outside of the profession, and just meet people of all different backgrounds. And I have no idea where these relationships are going to go. Some people in Perth are like, Kristine, tell us where you're going later in the year and we'll try and meet you somewhere else in Australia. And it's a way for me to combine so many passions of mine, so health and fitness and rollerblading with my business as well. And of course, in all those capital cities, I get to have business events. So it's a way for me to travel, which is one of my highest values, is travel. But I get to combine it with business and hold business events in all the events, do some team trainings in all the different locations, as well as have some fun and do something that is good, like raising money for a charity. And that's the shortcut to fulfillment, Sam, is when we're making a difference in someone else's life. Like when you feel like you're actually living on purpose and you're doing something that's worthwhile and you're really making a difference in the world, that's where fulfillment is, guys. That's the shortcut. And that's what I feel like this profession allows us to do. We get to do more of that, more giving back. And so many people have crappy, disempowering beliefs around money. And I did as well. But now I'm like, you know what? There's an abundance amount of money out there. And I want to get my hands on some, because I want to amplify the good stuff that I'm doing in life. And I want to make a bigger impact. I want to be able to support more charities. Like, look at all these good causes that are out there that pop up on Facebook, and people raising money for their birthdays. I can't give to them all. And I want to be able to give to people that are up to good things, making a difference. So that's my aim, is to earn a ton load more money. So I can just go out there and give more to these amazing causes.
That's awesome. But something to remember with that too, and something you and I have learnt in that process is, yeah, it's okay for us to give to causes, and it's a big part of what we do with our business as well. We've got a mission to be able to have a global impact with communities. But first, charity starts at home, and we're all worth earning an income that allows us to live out our values in life. And this is something that you and I know have definitely been on a big journey of growth with over the last couple of years. And certainly my husband, Greg, who many of you guys also know, this has been a really big thing for us. And I think for many of you guys out there, you've got this fear that I'm not worth earning a great income. It's wasteful. It's not okay. And, there are other people out there that deserve it more. And the thing that you've got to really understand is that you are worth living the life that you're born to live. You are worth being able to live out your values and the things that you most love, and being able to travel if that's what you value, and having that global impact if that's what you want to do. Go rollerblading in a marathon if you want to. But we need to stop saying that we're not worth it. And I know that you talk to people about this a lot, and I love that too. I think it's really great that you're like, you know what, it's okay for me. I am worth it. It's okay for me to earn good money, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to seek that.
Totally. And I see so many mums really struggle with this in particular. And it wasn't until money was taken away from me that I started to really respect it for what it is. Yes, money is just energy, but I had to lose it in order to really come from a place of gratitude for it. And there's so many different ways you can manifest money. You can get rid of the mummy guilt as well. Like, it got to a point where when I had my daughter, my first child, I wasn't earning an income. I totally lost all my financial independence and had to rely on my husband for everything. And it got to a point where I asked him for money to buy his birthday present. And that was the lowest point, where it was like, you loser, like, you've been working for 31 years, well, not 31 years, you're 31, and you have no money to your name to buy your husband a birthday present. Like, and that was such a pivotal moment in my journey with network marketing, because I'm like, I'm going to earn my own bloody money. So I don't have to rely on him, and I can go out with the girls if I want to go out. And you know what, like, this profession, there's so many defining moments. And for so long, Sam, you know how they go, you need to have a why that makes you cry. I didn't have a why that made me cry. I couldn't think of a why, and I wasn't an emotional person. I know. I'm like, where's these emotions? I wasn't emotional. And then I went to my daughter's special persons day when she was 2. So I've been in the business just nearly 18 months. And there was kids in that playground that day that were bawling their eyes out. They were standing at the fence at the gate, hoping and praying that next face they saw was their mums or dads. And they were bawling because other people had their mums and dads and grandparents there. And I took some of these kids under my wing that day. And I remember pulling my daughter aside and saying, I'm promising you will never, ever feel like that. You will never, ever feel alone. Mummy or daddy will always be there for you. Now, I've been able to keep that promise, and it's only because of this profession. And she had a swimming carnival on Tuesday. I was able to go. She had a swimming carnival the week before. I was able to go. I'm the mum that other mums ring to say, Kristine, can you get some footage of my daughter today when she runs her race? Can you give her a hug before her race? And that, to me, like, I get emotional. I cry when I'm hugging another person's child, saying, Mum just told me to come over and give you a hug. She's sorry she can't be here.
You're making me emotional now.
It is. It's horrible. And I'm like,
it's a tough thing as a parent. The guilt that goes with it is crazy. And this is, exactly why this industry is so life-changing. It allows us to, be the parent that we want to be. Or maybe you're not a parent. Maybe you just have got, things that you want to do in life. You want to travel, or potentially your health may not be quite right and you can't get out there and work, but you still want that independence. And this industry does change lives in that way. And so many different people of all walks of life, this industry is a life-changing industry. The trouble is that we are, in often battling against a stereotype, a stigma. And, you've broken through that by simply being yourself, by saying, you know what, I'm going to love on other people. I'm going to love myself, and I'm going to live the life that I deserve through doing that. And I love it. Just makes my heart sing, Kristine.
Good.
Now I've got one more question I just want to ask you before we finish up. this one's, we spoke about this very briefly before we jumped on today. It's a little bit of a contentious issue, but I know that you do use both a personal profile and a business page. So tell us about how you use them differently to each other and how you use them to grow your business. Give us a little bit of an idea on how they work for you.
So my personal page is all about building that trust, getting people to know me, getting people to understand me, what I stand for. It's my message to the world. And then my business page is simply how I can connect with more like-minded people. You can run ads through it. I have my business page attached to my Instagram page. So anything that goes on Instagram goes straight across to that business page. So I'm not kind of double dipping. I know a lot of people have Instagram attached to their personal page, but my Instagram is more businessy, I guess, and my passion and my purpose. Mm-hmm. And so that comes across onto my business page. Now, having said that, I don't do a lot of work in my business page because I don't get a lot of business from there. Seriously, all my business is through the messenger, through reaching out, that's where my customers and my team are coming from. And every stories that I put up gets interest. So the stories, I whack them up, and I might do a stories on one of the programs we're running, or I might do a story series on one of the products. And I will always end it with a call to action. So I'll whack up 12 pictures that tell a story, and then there'll be a call of action. So the last few that I've done, that's where some customers have come from. But and not a lot comes through my business page, but that's where I am getting new contacts that I wouldn't have had if I didn't have it there either. So I don't know. Some people do it really well with their business page, but Facebook, as I know, don't tend to show a lot of those posts to people. But
we certainly get more reach through a personal profile, but you've just hit the nail on the head. With a business page, you do have the opportunity to be exposed to a greater network.
Yes.
Because it's public. Everyone can see it. People can refer you. And there's nothing stopping you from making that personal connection with someone once they've found you through the business page, or to send them that messenger inbox. But with the stories, I just wanted to go back to that for a little second. I know you do stories through your personal profile. I see them popping up. And so when you run your call to action, can you give us a little bit of an indication on, what sort of a call to action might you do through a story at the end? Are you doing a call to action to product, to business, to simply just making contact? What does that look like?
It could be a poll. So it might be that I'm asking a question. So, a good poll to ask might be, if you could have better health or better wealth in 2020, which would you choose? And so, the ones that say health, you go and message them about your health products. If they say wealth, you go and reach out about the business and start the conversation. And then that's one call to action that I'll put at the end. Then another one might be, how much longer are you willing to let another year go by on Struggle Street or whatever? Comment yes, and I will send you some more information. Or, just a little comment yes, or pop your favorite emoji down. Want to know more about the latest program, or if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, or whatever. So it's just always just a question, but I get them to do something. So and because they're doing it on the stories, it's just showing up privately to me in the messenger. So it's non-invasive for them. It's not like they're shouting out to the whole wide world. No one knows that they've commented on that story. You know what I mean? Whereas if you put a post up on your timeline about health or something, and then you ask them to comment, well, the whole world's going to see that they've commented. You know what I mean? So it's a bit private and more private and non-invasive through the stories.
Yeah, I love it. That's so good. Well, I think that's really great for everyone to keep in mind too. The fact that stories is something that you can absolutely use to, and by the time someone has finished looking at sort of, 12 different images, or a story that you've put up today that's more involved than one picture or one video, they're pretty invested. By the time they get to the end, they're pretty likely to get involved in that call to action or that poll if it's simple and easy. I think that's the key though. It does need to be simple and easy for them to respond to. And those examples you just gave are so perfect. And I think in any industry we can use that. Doesn't matter what the company is that you work with. But I think it's been really inspiring chatting with you today, Kristine.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that we got to take this time. And like I said, we've known each other for a little while, but, watching your journey, and in particular, watching you grow and blossom, and your business just coming along for the ride is how it feels. And I think it's so great that you're able to demonstrate that it can be done organically if you just simply love yourself, love other people, and continue to pile value on everybody. And that's exactly what you're doing. So if there's so much in what you've said today that I think people can really take and use, and stop overthinking your social media, stop copying other people, stop trying to be that influencer that you feel you can't be. Just be yourself. And you know what? It works. You're living proof that it does.
Well, thanks so much for having me on. I hope this has resonated with some people out there.
I'm sure it will. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kristine. And
you're welcome.
We'll hopefully chat again very soon.
Awesome. Bye.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.